This is my Bergara BMR. BMR standing for Bergara Micro Rifle. And it's literally a small 22. And hopefully this turns out. It's one of the first attempts at doing a video of said character, so we'll see. So again, it was supposed to be front of the ATV, on the rack, see a squirrel, plink some sticks, whatever kind of rifle. And in some conversations with my uncle, was like, hey, we should try NRL 22. And he advised me there's one near my house and that I should give it a go. I had no glass for this thing at the time, but ended up going to the competition. I was literally a week out of the hospital at that time. And the glass I put on it was a Leapers scope off of my pellet gun. So I went to a competition with a micro rifle and short barrel, air gun scope, and I'm not even sure what ammo I took along. And the guy there said, if you need a bag, if you need something, ask, it'll be thrown at you. And plenty of stuff to use. And the big thing is don't zero on any station. Well, I didn't zero on any station. I did good on one or two, but I pretty much stunk on the rest. First time, though, I was good to go. Exhausted at the end. Part of that was from my being in the hospital for a week, the week prior. But what I noticed along the way is I couldn't get a good cheek weld. So I purchased from Victor the cheek risers that you can adjust by, and I can't really see it here, but there are pieces that go in underneath that allow you to add more height to that. Well, as we can see, I need a lot of height. Probably would have been just as advantageous to drop the scope rings a bit. Maybe sit that a little bit lower since I have plenty of clearance on the front. The other thing was the scope, this scope, which I bought later, a Bushnell Match Pro, which is 6-24 by 50, is not produced anymore. We ran across a lot of videos on these and people talking about them, and well, guess what? They don't make them anymore. But we accidentally found some at a shop called Euro Optics in Pennsylvania, and I bought one, and it looked good. So he bought one, and then I bought another one, and then he bought another one. And we have them on our key 22 rifles right now. Glass is exceptionally clear. I'd say it's equal with the Nikon Pro staffs that I have on hunting rifles. And it's served everything well. It tracks well back to 0 after adjusting fire on it when you're at the NRL 22 range. So that was the glass put on this micro rifle. The next thing was the bolt, and I went to area 419. It just got a finger groove bolt knob, replaced that. Helps pretty quick when I come off the trigger. Bam, fingers right there. Easy to control. Gives a good tactile grip when you're running the bolt. Bolt might have been a little gritty at first. That thing runs real smooth now. Love the bolt on this thing. No problems with that at all. And then realized that, there are no Bushnell caps or sunshades. So at that point, we began looking for what are we going to do to protect these scopes with, and found that MK Machining creates scope caps and other things. We had some made for the Match Pro scopes. Click in real well, nice and solid. You can get them in gray or black, maybe one other color. Very durable. They lock in with a screw, spring loaded to hold them out of the way. And then the next thing was a throw lever from MKM. Again, made on a plastic printer, but this one is carbon fiber. Also works really well, etc. So this is the primary setup that I've been shooting for NRL 22. The problem is the length of pull is literally 3 inches too short for me. And so I've been snugging up in there as much as I can, and my accuracy is suffering from that. I mean, the yaw on the barrel is pretty severe. depending on the obstacle I'm on, because I'm literally crunched into the back of the rifle, into the scope, and into the support that I'm using for that particular station. Otherwise, shoots great. Out to about 80 yards. It's pretty darn slick. 90 to 100, depending on the ammo and the day and everything. It can be a little wobbly, but I've also got some decent tight stationary groups at 100 yards also. 2 weeks ago up in Idaho, longest shot I've taken with this yet was on a steel elk at 210 yards. Doped it up 7 for elevation and plinked that thing right in the center. So I know it'll shoot far, and I know it'll shoot steel far. Pulling in the accuracy for the rifle at 100 is what I'm working on next. So what we'll be doing tonight is there will be a trigger change, and we'll talk about that trigger shortly. This is the standard Bergara trigger that comes with it. Measures 2 pounds 8 ounces, 2 pounds 10 ounces, varies between the two depending on what kind of bite we get on the trigger with the measuring device. Not a bad trigger. Got a tiny little bit of creep in there that throws me off. I'm talking tiny bit. Never noticed it. But now after many thousands of rounds, I can feel it, and it throws me off from time to time. And then to increase the length of pull, it's going into a different stock, which will be part of this later. Otherwise, love the rifle. Very satisfied with it. Love the way the bolt runs. Not a problem there. I'm a bolt guy. Nice thing is it's not quite a trainer like the Bergara B14R, but it has the same throw as I do on my Bergara 300 Win Mag. So police range of motion, hardwire memory stuff is good with this particular bolt. Going to get ready to do a couple other things, so we'll be back.